pleasure to introduce a gentleman that's going to come up here and do a performance for you. Now, this is really important. He's going to do a performance. His name is Brad Zinn. During the performance, he's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Do not recite it with him. When he is done with the performance, he will have everybody in the crowd say the Pledge of Allegiance with him. This is the beginning. This is wonderful. It's a great performance. It's a tribute to some of our old comedians. So without further ado, here is my friend, Brad Zinn.
Thank you, Arizona and all of our surrounding neighbors, for being here today. I have many friends in the crowd here today, and I would like to begin by asking you, how many of you remember Red Skelton? In the 1960s, Red Skelton performed a patriotic and heroic service to his country when he performed an explanation of the Pledge of Allegiance on national television. Not since the late 60s have I seen our country in such turmoil. And because of that, Red's recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance is more appropriate today than it has ever been. Yes, it is. Thank you. Now, you must understand a couple of things about this. The Pledge of Allegiance was first written in 1892. It was modified in 1923 when Red Skelton's story takes place. The words "under God" were not added to the Pledge of Allegiance until 1954. Prayer in school was taken out of school in the early 60s, 63 or 64. And now on January 14th, 1969, Red Skelton went on national television and tried to explain the meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance. So if I may have your attention, I would like to try to recreate for you that night, January 14th, 1969. And as Valerie said, please do not recite the pledge with me the first time through. We will direct you, and then we will all say it as we know it today. Will you do that for me? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Red, can we have this mic? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of America's clowns, Red Skelton. Now, getting back to school. I left school when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. No, it's true. I went to school in the winter and I worked in the summer. And I had a wonderful teacher back then. He was a real sage, at least of my time. He had such wisdom. He was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. And he was listening to us boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance one morning, and he said, "Boys and girls, I have been listening to you recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it sounds as though it has become monotonous to you. If I may I recite the pledge for you and try to give you a definition of each of the words. I, meaning me, an individual, a committee of one. Pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and my devotion. To the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there is respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. Of the united, that means that we have all come together. States, individual communities, which have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities, each with liberty, each with the purpose, but all divided by imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that's love of country, of America. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people. and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people. For which it stands, one nation meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, meaning impossible to be divided, with liberty, which is freedom and the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fears, or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or quality of dealing fairly with others, for all, which means, boys and girls, that it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, may I hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Not yet. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our union, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone were to say that that was a prayer, and that would be eliminated from schools too? Ladies and gentlemen, I've always believed that we were put here on earth to build and not to destroy, and that time is our most precious commodity. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me here this afternoon. Good night, and may God bless. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you join me and face the flag? Hand over your heart. Veterans, you are allowed to salute in or out of uniform by order of George W. Bush before he left office. And recite with me now our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.